There are myths from cultures in every corner of the world that talk about a great flood. The existence of this legend is actually a worldwide phenomenon, with over 300 myths in almost every single language. They speak of an ancient people whose power was great but had angered the gods. In our times, this ancient forgotten civilization is better known as Atlantis. The story of Atlantis comes to us from Plato in a Socratic dialogue from about 360 BC. He reveals that Atlantis was a powerful civilization that fell under a great global cataclysm at around 9600 BC after attempting to conquer its neighboring cities. Many ancient cultures speak of an advanced pre-flood society, but is there any evidence of an ancient global cataclysm as mentioned by Plato? Modern science agrees that the end of the last ice age occurred around 10,000 BC, and while they say this change occurred gradually, fossil evidence and ancient ruins point to the contrary. The Pleistocene extinction that occurred around this time saw the end of over 150 species of large mammals worldwide, including the saber-toothed tiger, woolly mammoths, among others. There are ancient undersea cities off the coast of Japan, India, Cuba, and Spain, to name a few. These places were built before the ice cap melted and submerged them under hundreds of feet of water. Even our not-so-distant relative, the Cro-Magnon, disappeared from the fossil record at this time. As the many undersea cities and mass extinctions can testify to, the end of the last ice age was not a walk in the park for life on Earth. The sudden rise in sea levels were accompanied by dramatic weather changes and a slew of natural disasters that remain to this day like a scar in the collective consciousness of mankind. It surfaces, today, in the many myths and legends about a great flood and an ancient apocalypse. The frozen remains of mammoths give us a clue as to what could have occurred at the end of the last ice age. For hundreds of years, the remains of frozen mammoths have been discovered buried under the permafrost in Siberia. Their remains have revealed that the conditions that caused their freezing happened suddenly. In other words, they were flash frozen. Some of these mammoths are found with vegetation that is undigested in their stomach and does not belong to the area in which they were found. The food in their stomach suggests the mammoths were grazing on warmer climate vegetation, where enough would grow to support their enormous weight. Then suddenly, their bodies became frozen, and the remains ended up in the frigid, barren areas of Siberia. The only way this could have happened is if the Earth had dramatically changed its axis in what is now commonly called a pole shift. This movement would have caused the mammoths to flash freeze as their territory was thrusted toward the north, giving them no chance to adjust or migrate to the sudden temperature change. This would imply that the Earth had a different position than it does presently, but is there any other evidence that points to this event? With the advent of satellite imagery, researchers have discovered long-distance alignments of ancient monuments around the world that some believe might have been an ancient equator. Using this ancient equator as a reference, we find that the Earth's North Pole would have lied in what is now Alaska. This is why the ice sheets extended all the way down to northern Mexico during the last ice age. In 1947, many books that were part of early Christianity were found hidden inside an ancient cave in Egypt. These became known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. In them, we find the Book of Enoch, which speaks of Noah and what he witnessed before the Great Flood. In Enoch 65:1, we read, "Noah saw that the earth had tilted, and that its destruction was near. This tilt thrusted North America downwards to its current position, melting most of the polar cap in the process and sloshing the water around the planet. At this time, in what is now Siberia, the mammoths were thrusted north, where they were flash frozen along with the still undigested food in their stomachs. This process devastated humanity and wiped out Atlantis, the dominated civilization of the time."